numbers are out about Biden's border crisis as well. The U.S. is on pace to have a record 2 million border encounters this fiscal year. There have already been 56 migrants pinged on the terrorist watch list. That's more than the last 4 years combined. Let me go to you, my best friend. Let me show you this graphic as far as the number of encounters in fiscal year 2022 versus fiscal year 2021. So far this year, 1.7 million, 746,119. Last year, the entire year, 1,734,686. Partner, why?
Yeah, well, why?
Yes.
Because Joe Biden wants an open border, because the Democrats have done absolutely nothing to secure our border, to keep Americans safe. The thing is, these are encounters. These are the ones we know about,
yes.
Leo. So think about how many people have actually come into America. We're talking millions of people a year now coming into the United States of America illegally. Last month alone, 15,272 unaccompanied children in June alone. And as a mom of 2 kids, I think about the horrors that these kids must have to experience to come up through our southern border. And there's one reason that the parents are sending them, because they know they'll get in now, because Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and the Democrat Party have greenlit their exodus up through our southern border and into America. And it's awful for everybody. It's awful for the people that are coming here, and it's terrible for our country. This is not the right way to do things. And especially when you talk to people who have come into America illegally, they're the most upset about this. It's not right.
You know, Charlie, it's not only the number, it's the ones that are being caught that have been pinged as terrorists. 56 so far this year, 4 times as many in the last 3 or 4 years. Isn't that a national security threat?
Oh, absolutely. It's all a national security threat. If you don't have a border and don't defend your border, that in and of itself is a national security threat. And of course, these terrorists aren't coming from Mexico.
Yeah.
These terrorists are coming from other places because the world knows the Biden administration is wide open. The border is wide open. And so that there's the amount of money a lot of these people are spending to get to Mexico from wherever they're coming from is a considerable amount of money. But of course, you're exactly right. You know, this is not just a national security threat. It's a human crisis.
Yeah.
These children, you know, the New York Post last week had photographs of these children crossing the border. And I mean, it's just absolutely heartbreaking. And remember all of the understandable fury about the children in cages, which was completely ripped out of context under the under the Trump administration. This is 50 times worse than anything.
Far worse. Where is AOC going down and crying over it?
Well,
why hasn't she said anything about that?
You know, Julie, we were just talking about Kamala Harris. This was her #1 assignment. Apparently, you look at Biden's overseas. Do they see the immigration issue as a national major issue for the upcoming midterms?
Hear no evil, see no evil. They see nothing. I mean, honestly. And when it comes to Customs and Border Protection, I mean, they have said that 752 children actually are illegally unaccompanied and smuggled into this border every single day, which is up from May. So we talk about the victims in all of this, okay? The children, the youth, not to mention the fentanyl, the methamphetamine, the heroin, the cocaine, and all the deaths there. And I want to bring up the name Gerson Fuentes, because he is a man who was an illegal, undocumented immigrant who is accused and charged of raping a 10-year-old minor from the state of Ohio who had to travel across state lines to get an abortion. Why was he in this country? The question and the argument should not be, oh, she had to travel out of state to get an abortion. For me, the question is, why the heck was he here in the first place to rape a 10-year-old?
Well, you know, that goes back to the point.
But I don't hear the Biden administration, I don't hear Kamala Harris ever addressing that issue.
Right.
And almost, I think it was like 26% of those encounters are people who have been repeat offenders, who have been to the border already and got stopped, and they try again. So apparently they feel like there's a way to get back into the country.
Of course there's a way to get back into the country. And, you know, you and Charlie are talking about the people on the terror watch list that have been caught here. All it takes is one. All it takes is one of those people to get through and do something awful here in America. And honestly, it is so scary to know that this is happening, that it's being allowed to happen. And I got to tell you, something that doesn't get talked about enough is the fentanyl crisis, the fentanyl that is produced in China, that comes up through Mexico, through our southern border. It is killing our youth in America right now. I think between 18 and 38, it is the #1 cause of death in America right now. And it could be prevented. We could at least try and slow it down, but they're doing nothing.
But the one silver lining to all of it is that Democrat voters do not sign up for this stuff. And I do believe that Democrats will pay a price for this.
Oh, this is going to kill them in the midterms.
Well, I hope
Absolutely.
so.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.